Good morning, everybody out there. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? I'm Omi Bell. At this point, I don't know what title to give myself. I am the CEO and founder of Black Girl Ventures. Y'all do know that part. But I think I've been telling y'all that I'm working on this. This will be day 3 of becoming Omi, okay, in this realm of moving toward being a wellness practitioner more full time and caring about the 3 B's: body, business, and belonging. And my philosophy around the intersection of these 3 is where we need to be focused. Nervous system regulation. Also, body is a part of economic mobility. They tell us, grind it out, grind till you die. No team, no sleep. All that's crazy. And I do not, I'm like, yeah, no. I thought that at one point. I was conditioned to believe those things. That rhetoric had me hooked. And I thought that my success was built off of me straining my body to certain levels. And seemingly it felt like it because and things were evolving. You get access to capital, you start growing something that you win awards for. Then you tell yourself, actually, okay, that's the way it works. So this series is a 3B series. And 3B is the 3B Society is a community for the ambitious and the curious, people juggling more than most, tired of feeling tired and done buying into hustle culture as the answer. Because we were told that we had to choose between ambition and rest, between success and the body, between building something and belonging somewhere. And I'm saying, no, we don't. That is important that we think about our bodies and how that works. In performance, and rest as a part of performance, because it is. Today, my guest is Dr. Latasha Selby Perkins. I'm so excited to bring her up. She is a family medicine physician in DC, and she also is a maternal health champion. And this week is Black Maternal Health Week. How about that? So the perfect time to have her on to have this conversation. And she's a dear friend of mine, so I'm excited to just chop it up because we could talk for hours about whatever. Coming to the stage and welcoming Dr. Latasha Selby Perkins. How you feeling?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so glad to have you here with me. And we never talk when you're in whatever this section is of the house that you're in, but I love all the birds chirping.
It's because it's beautiful in DC today. So the birds are out. And so I figured, let's go to the sunroom.
Yeah, I love that. No, that's perfect. So maternal health. First, let's start with this is Black Maternal Health Week.
Mm-hmm.
It's important that we bring awareness to it. The stats around maternal mortality for Black women.
Mm-hmm.
And there's maternal mortality for Black women, and there's like infant mortality for Black people, right? And so there's like all of that being somewhere in there mixed together.
Mm-hmm.
But the realm of maternal health, tell people a little bit about what that means, what that looks like, and how to think about that.
So maternal health mainly focuses on the birthing person, the mother, when they are perinatal, like right before they have the baby, once you conceive, all the way through when you have the baby, and then a year after that is considered the postpartum phase. But really, as long as you're the mother of a human being, your health is still a part of it. When it comes to around birth, though, that's what they consider maternal health. Anything that surrounds the birth of a human, and the person who birthed that human, and everything from mental health to physical health, and recovery. All of that is considered a part of maternal health.
So with birthing, is it? And this is interesting because I never thought to break this down like this. And just to say, if somebody was going to go after maternal health grants or dollars or whatever, like, is it considered like birth and then postpartum up until a certain amount of time in terms of services? Or is it like after a mother, always a mother? Because that's always a tricky part for me in the sense that, like, even with postpartum, it's like I have an 11-year-old. Is it ever over?
I'm a family medicine doctor. I don't think it's ever over. As long as once you become a mother, I think it's maternal health all the way through. But I think Medically, the definition is around like your physiology of like your physical being after having the baby.
Mm.
I even believe we start to include also fertility, which is before conception, which is something that Western medicine doesn't do as much, but other cultures do. And in our community, we think about it before you're pregnant too. And so fertility is also a part of that. And so that happens once you're born. A woman is born with every egg they're going to have for the rest of their lives. So it actually starts at birth and it's your entire existence. But based on the definition, it is around the time you, when you're getting ready to conceive, uh, growing the baby, birthing the baby, and then medical definition is a year after birthing the baby. 12 months after having your baby is considered maternal health. But we should be thinking about it from the beginning.
I feel like it's obvious, but I'm gonna still ask this question anyway. Why should people care about it, right? Like, why should people advocate for it, for health or for support for maternal health in this like Black Maternal Health Week? And if you can run down any of the stats, if you know them, if not, please don't feel like you got to. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I would love
mean,
to.
everybody has a mama. Everybody, every human being that walks the face of this earth, someone birthed you into existence and someone grew you. And so that it should be important for every individual, but particularly Black women. 1 in 4, like Black women are 4 times, like 20, like we 1 in 4 Black women will die at childbirth, more so than white women. So 4 times more likely to die in childbirth, like in the United States. So we are not a third world country, and we have medicine, and um, we have access to healthcare, and so we are 4 times more likely to die, and it doesn't matter your economic status. People generally hear that stat and they say, "Oh, it's because Black women who are economically disadvantaged, they're the ones that are going to die in childbirth. If I am educated and have access to healthcare, if I'm a doctor, my risk isn't as high." And that is not the truth. My risk is equally as high as any other Black woman, just from being Black and having a baby in this country.
Hmm.
So it's startling. It can be pretty scary, but it's something that's super important. It's been that way for several years, and it hasn't. We're working to improve it, but I'm glad to be a part of the conversation, because I also feel like in our community, a lot of times, uh, because of this problem, we start to try to leave the doctors out. So I'm happy. That's why I'm a champion and will always
Mm.
be, in the space. And this, Omi, we've been in that space together.
Mm.
Hundreds of people. How many doctors? Last
No,
time it
it's
was
so
2.
true. There were a
So,
lot of people in there, but you, as far as I know, you may have been the only actual practicing family medical doctor, right? Like
mm-hmm,
there were people who have doctorates, but I
mm-hmm,
don't know that there were medical doctors. So,
mm-hmm.
so what do you think? It's a big question, but let's start here. What is the importance of having diverse doctors? Like, and like having a Black doctor or having a doctor that understands you in a certain way. Like, how important is that?
It's essential. I mean, it's not just anecdotal. Like, I have your lived experience in lots of ways. We have
Mm.
very similar lived experience. The world sees us similarly. There's some unknown. There's some things that are unsaid just by you walking in the door that I understand about your health and um, what you face day to day that you do not have to explain, right? And then there are actual studies, evidence show that you know Black doctors take better care of Black patients, not just because of like, you don't have to worry about implicit bias as much. You don't have to, there's a commonality. I see you and I see my family, so I'm going to take better care of you. It also shows if you are practicing in an area where you grew up, you tend to take better care of those folks. And even before we get into being Black, let's talk about like family medicine doctors. Primary care, having a primary care doctor for every 1,000 people in an area increases the life expectancy of that community by a year. Like there's no other
Mm.
specialty that does that, right? Like just having a primary care doctor that takes care of babies, takes care of women, takes care of men, takes care of everybody, delivers, does all those things. It increases the life expectancy. So there hasn't been a study yet. I would love to do it that shows like, what if I'm primary care and I'm Black and I'm in a neighborhood that I care about? Like, what would life expectancy look
Mm. What's the
like?
life? What's the increase in life
Then,
expectancy then? Yeah.
so but it's critical. It's critical. And so there aren't, there minorities represent only about 6% of physicians right now. And there's a huge scarcity of Black men, but there are Black women. There's just not a lot of us. And so even if you can't get a Black doctor, you need to make sure the person that you are seeing understands what your lived experience is.
Mm.
Or have that Black doctor girlfriend, right? Like, this is my doctor.
Right,
This is what
right.
they said. Let me run these results by you. Can't tell you how many times I get text some lab results to interpret, but it doesn't, like, that's what I'm here for. Like, that's why I went to med school. So even if you can't have them as your physician, there's always one in the community and always willing to be there and to support and answer any questions.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we have people watching from like all across the globe that
Mm-hmm.
that may not know that they have the agency to interview their doctor,
Mm-hmm.
like what that for. So let's explore like what those visits should look like, and like what kind of questions. Let's say like you're looking for a new doctor, or you're looking for a doctor that you feel like does understand your lived experiences. Are there certain things that people should ask or can say to sort of like clue into like, does this doctor actually understand me? Or are there certain like mannerisms or things that you might, or dismissive ways that a doctor might be or say? And I mean, like, you may not have the full answer to that, but I'm curious. Like, I want to put people in the seat of agency to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Interview everybody that you think is more supposed to be more powerful over you.
Right.
Teachers, investors,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're going into the bank, like, don't, like, get curious and feel free to ask these people questions, because just like you may look at it like, well, I'm one in a big number, they're one in a big number. There's
Mm-hmm.
choices to think about. Sometimes people don't have choices, but it's still good to find out. So it's like, what kind of questions should people be asking their doctor back that could help them clue into whether or not this is the right doctor for me?
First of all, do your homework before you make that appointment. Before you go in the clinic, see what doctors take your insurance, and then also, if it's not worried about insurance, just look up like that doctor's background. Like, the information is public. Where I went to school, where I trained, my degrees, my license, my board certification. That's important. You want a licensed board certified physician, right? That's taking care of you. And doctors of osteopathic medicine, doctor of medical doctorate of allopathic medicine. You want to know that. Go in with homework, right? That you know who this person is. And then there's a reason why the new patient visit is longer than most, or there's a specific, like, you go in and like, you're here for the new patient visit. We're not going to assess any problems. We might address a little bit. We're here to get to know each other. That's why that appointment exists. That's why it's long. We talk to you about your history, but then you can ask us questions. And so, to answer your question, one question that I would ask, like, if there's anything that you are working to manage, a challenge, like, we talk, it's Black Maternal Health Week. I am a middle-aged woman and I'm interested in getting pregnant. Is that something that you can help me with? Is that something that you have a passion about? Is it something you specialize in? Are you connected to a network that can help me, support me? Just because the numbers aren't looking good in this country, and I want to make sure that you have the skills I need. And if you don't, you're a doctor. Tell me who I should go to. That's one.
Mm.
Come in with like something in mind. If it's, I want to lose weight, I need to manage my blood pressure, cancer runs in my family. Is this something that you can help me stay on top of, right? And is that an interest of yours? And you know, what's your schedule like? I like to tell my patients, because I'm an academic doctor, so I also teach. My clinical day is Tuesday. If Tuesday works for you, I can be your doctor, because I'm always be here on a Tuesday, right? If sometimes I can do a Thursday. If you're like, oh, I only can see my doctor on a Saturday, you're going to be mad at me because I want to be accessible. I want you to be able to see me, get on my schedule. So, what's your schedule like? Will I be able to get in to see you regularly, or am I going to be seeing your partners? And if that's okay with you, then fine. Just know that, like, as long as I do my annual appointment with you, I'll see your partners. But some of my patients only want to see me, and so they like to know my availability, which because we have a relationship, right? They want to see, they want to see their girl. They want so it's important to understand availability. It's important to understand their passions and things that you
Mm.
want to work with, so you all can develop a plan together. Um, and depending on what you want, some people want to know facts. Some people want to be educated along the way. Some people want their doctor just to make the decision and give them, the options, and then they decide it together. You have to decide what their relationship is. My patients tend to like a doctor who likes to educate. Like, I'm gonna educate you. If I'm starting you on a blood pressure medicine, I'm gonna tell you this medicine works this way, and you have to take it every day. How you get off of it? This is how we get off of it. So you need to know the
I feel like I
philosophy,
never get that. How do I get off of it?
because I have patients that ask me that. So my patients know
Mm.
that we're gonna talk, and if you start me on this medicine, doctor, this is something I can get off of. We could absolutely try to get off of it. Some of this is genetic, but there's some ways, particularly, within diabetes, hypertension, diet, medicine, that we're going to use this for a short period of time. But you're going to have to change some behaviors, and I'm here to help you. So it's just knowing the philosophy of the doctor. What's your style? What's your philosophy of your practice of medicine? Because it is a practice, right? We get all the education we need. There's a art to it, and there's a practice. What is your practice philosophy?
Mm.
Um,
I really love that we're talking about this
mm-hmm,
because, like I said, as much as I could place agency, like help people really, really understand their agency, and that you have the right to say, do you have a network of people? I have a neurological disorder. I have cancer runs in my family. I have whatever. But do you have a network of people that can help me if you can't help me? That is a huge one. Do you have a
mm-hmm,
network of people? What is your philosophy around care for patients?
mm-hmm,
Right. And like having the doctor actually explain that to you.
mm-hmm,
I think sometimes we just kind of get to know it as we work with them, and they're like, well, I
mm-hmm,
like her. Well, I
mm-hmm,
like them. And then
mm-hmm,
you go there, you're like, I don't like them. And then the I don't like them turns and you don't go to the doctor.
mm-hmm.
Right? Or it turns into trauma where like then you don't go to the doctor ever. God bless my mom. She is now gone to the doctor, thank God. But I've been trying for so long to be like, Mom, please, will you just go? Just please. And she's like, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go. So she finally did, and everything was great. Her health is wonderful. And I'm so happy
Blessing.
about that. What the trauma that we have as a black community around getting checked out. And it's really speaks to like what we the Black Maternal Health Week and why we need it. We see
Right.
the stats,
Mm-hmm,
right? We need to
mm-hmm,
bring awareness to this. What is your
mm-hmm.
hope for the future of medicine and where you would like to see things go, innovate, become better? I'm curious. What do you think?
My hope is, so I have like my tribe, right? My tribe of folks who think very much like me, my family medicine folks who are all about preventive medicine and whole person medicine. Then I have my Uber specialists, the people who do surgery and they need to do surgery, need to specialize in one particular thing. My hope is, regardless of where you are in medicine, particularly Western medicine, that we can open up our arms a bit more to learning from Eastern medicine that's been here much longer, and like how
Mm.
we integrate that within what we do. How do we use the best things from Western medicine, the best things from Eastern medicine, the best things from midwifery, the best things from an herbalist, the best thing from an acupuncturist, and bring that together. Look, I'm getting chills. And bring that together to help people with their greatest asset. You can have as much money as you want. You don't get more time on this earth, right? Your health is like your number one asset. And I would love to see, us like come together and not be so siloed, and make, we're moving towards patient centered, and we're even changing it. The language that we're teaching in medical school now is not even patient centered; it's a family centered care, because the patient
Mm.
has a support system, and they're not just a number on a chart. It's person centered, because they said not to say, we teaching our medical students not to say patient centered, say person centered, and then family centered based on that individual's culture. And so we're
Mm.
getting there, right? Like baby steps, we're getting there. But I just hope we keep going in that direction, and that it's not railroad. Because I get a little nervous about the railroading of things these days. So that is my hope, that we can use the world's medicine, um, the best parts of it all, to take care of each other.
Yeah, that we can be citizens of the world in that way as well. So not just in travel,
Mm-hmm.
not just in visiting cultures and thinking they're cute,
Mm-hmm.
but like really, how do we all share to essentially lift all of humanity, right?
Right. Right. And
Um,
that is it's so important. Like we got to do that in every realm, but I would love for that to happen in healthcare.
yeah. So, I don't know if you want to talk about well, let me ask you this. Why are you a maternal health champion?
Because of my own, first being a doctor in general, and helping birth babies and taking care of babies and women and everyone, and then also my own journey, maternal health journey, my own fertility journey. Like when we talked about the world and world medicine, I started thinking about, so I had my daughter at 38, and then I wanted to have a second child, and so ran into some fertility challenges. And one of the things that I was blessed to do during that time is, one, meet you in Puerto Rico at a maternal health summit, which was convening, which was fantastic. And being in Puerto Rico, and like you encouraged me, like, girl, get in that waterfall. Like, you don't know. I'm like, but I don't know. Like, get in the waterfall. You never know what that can do for you. But it was a very like cleansing feeling. And then I had the opportunity to go to Ghana right after that, or before, I can't remember, but I think it was in the same realm. I went to Ghana and was there for mental health, research project, but told someone about my fertility journey, and they were like, well, you got to go take a first bath. In Ghana, they have the last bath before, slaves were taken to Elmina and sold across the Atlantic. But now Ghana has flipped it to first bath, right? Like release, come back to Africa. And so I did the first bath and talked to some folks about honey and how to use with the bees. And it was so enriching, and it helped switch my thoughts about fertility. You have the Western medicine part that I was taking it full advantage of, but to go to the continent and be able to do some of that, also it relieved stress in a way that I don't really know that I can articulate. And that's one of many things that kind of happened along the journey. And then I spoke to someone, an Asian sister, who was like, girl, let's do some of this acupuncture. Come on over here. Let's do acupuncture once a week. I have some places that I can we can work on. There's some moxa sticks I want you to use, and there's some teas. And though I did Western medicine and went through IVF, and it was unsuccessful after like one round of egg retrieval, had an embryo transferred, it did not implant. And so I was like, I'm just going to take a break. And I went back to all of the things that I did, and like the feelings that I had, the teas, the moxa sticks, and just like, I'm just going to relieve my stress. And I got pregnant like naturally at 43. I'm 45. So was I 43 and had him at 44. And so I believe part of that was the world experience, like the meeting of individuals like you. I'm a Pisces, so I'm all about rinsing and dipping and all the things that have to do with water. Of course, my belief in the Lord and being faithful and praying with that, putting scriptures in my shoes and standing on the word. all those things I think helped me get to that place. So um I even forgot the question you asked, but just
No,
the
your
journey
journey.
was
No, thank you
so
for sharing that. The journey. And I
incredible.
think you are, what I love about what you explained is you are the exact example of where you want to see the future of medicine go, which is
Mm-hmm.
pulling together all the practices, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of like spirituality,
Mm-hmm.
that like the bath, the waterfall, and that day I went to, and that week, as I told you, I went to an Oshun
Yeah, you pray for
festival
me.
at the water again. So I think like that, the spiritual part of it. Then you have the Eastern medicine, the acupuncture,
Mm-hmm.
the moxasticks that you just mentioned, like the nervous system regulation pieces that say like, hey, if my body can reach a certain level of calm too, right? And then I could just fold into this. And then so I think like I love that. And I'm always telling friends now, like, you need to consider acupuncture when I meet people and they're like, oh, I really want to have a kid, but I'm a little older. I think, I mean, listen, we could talk about it all day because I think the
Saved my
science
life,
is, I think
Dr.
the science
Trin.
is wrong on it. I think the science is wrong on what women can do. I think the science doesn't know enough about women's bodies yet. My hope for the future of medicine is that we get there more. Finding out the level of doctors who don't even know about perimenopause in a certain way really got me, because it would be like, oh, that doesn't have anything to do with my practice. I'm a blah blah blah
Yeah,
doctor.
it's and so that's about the specialty, and that's why I chose family medicine. Let me tell you how Western medicine puts us, how it goes. Most people don't want to do family medicine. They say it's too broad, it's not thick enough, it's not depth enough. I don't get to be an expert in things. I go to medical school where we're all very type A, and we want to be an expert in this thing. Right. And the more you want to be an expert in that thing, the more competitive it is. Because the truth is, we don't need a whole lot of folks who specialize in bone health of the pinky, right? Like we don't
Right,
need a
right, right.
ton of doctors that do that, but the ones who do, they are very good, right? They gonna fix your pinky. You can cut it off. They can put it back together. They are specialized in that one thing. Or I'm gonna focus on just your brain. And there's a lot of science behind each system, and so there's enough to teach a person and for them to live their entire life and only focus on the kidney. There's enough of going on the kidney for that to happen. But we don't, in this country anyway, we do not value the family medicine doctor, the person who
Mm.
broadly knows a little bit about everything. And we are taught, we're family doctors in name, we're taught to treat and take care of someone as a family. So that means I'm going to send you to this specialist if I can't, this is where my knowledge stop. We're going to send you that specialist, send me that information back, we'll decipher it together. We're supposed to be your home, but we're also open. There are fellowships in complementary and alternative medicine. One of my coworkers, if I have someone's like, I don't want to take that for my blood pressure just yet. Is there something herbal? I'm like, let me sign you up to go see Dr. Olabi. He will tell you about all the things you can consider, because he did a whole, fellowship in that. And so I think it's important for us to even start thinking about, like, I just need a primary care doctor that cares about everything, but again, asking their philosophy to see what things they care about the most. And for me, like, Black maternal health is definitely one of those things that I care about. Fertility, because of my journey, and just take in also the postpartum. We talk about getting pregnant, which I think we spend enough time with fertility. Then we get pregnant, and the system is all about getting pregnant. Then they deliver or whatever. Then there's a postpartum phase, which I'm still in now. Full disclosure, my baby is 8 months. Um, and
8 months
sis,
already. Good
he's 8 months
Lord.
already. I went through, this was the hardest postpartum compared to the first one. It was hard. And some of the work that we did is what got me through it. Like, yes, there was anxiety, and yes, I did, like, Western medicine. I was like, at one point, I was like, I need to do some breath work, but I might need to consider medication too. I'm going to give myself to this time. And once I hit that time and life start lifing, and I'm managing the loss of a father in love, 7-year-old, got to go back to work, breastfeeding isn't doing what it needs to do. I need all the things. And
Yeah.
breath work, I mean, girl, like I think it just brought down the stress level in ways that because my undergraduate degree is in physiology, that your physiology helps, because there are studies that show Black women, we have telomere, all our cells break down to like little micro, like neurons and protons, and then we have our within our nervous, we talk about nervous system, within our nervous system we have these things called telomeres, which carry the helps with the replication of cells. Like when you go to make a new cell, you have the telomeres, they grow, and then you separate, you have a new cell. There's a thing called telomere weathering that Black women endure. Like, we carry stress in our lived experience to a way that our telomeres weather faster than other folks. I'm a book nerd, so there's a book that talks a little bit about it. I wasn't even thinking about this, but I just happen to have this book on my desk. Let me find. It's called Medical Apartheid. If you've never heard of it, reading this book made me rethink. Like, girl, why'd you go to medical school? They the devil, like, it's like, but going helped me understand more about medicine and what my role needs to be in it. It's not for everybody, but for me, I have a specific role in being behind the veil. But this is the name of the book, Medical Apartheid. It's by Harriet Washington. It's the dark history of medical experimentation on Black Americans from colonial time to the present. And it talks about like other groups as well, but it helps you understand the history of Western medicine and why it's so important for us to take it back and to use, because so many things were done on our bodies to advance medicine that they owe us. Like, so most people, like, I'm never going to do, I'm going to do something else. I don't want nothing to do with Western medicine. I'm like, oh, they owe me. What's that song? They like owe me. They owe me. There's no way I'm not going to learn everything I can learn and bring it back to my community. But it talks about telomere weathering and how just the stress of racism, it weathers our telomeres, which makes it very difficult to, it makes it harder to be healthy. And so we can talk about that another day. But that's
wow. Thank you for sharing that, though, because I never knew that. And I think they always, because I'm always wondering, like, every stat out there for almost every disease there is, we get it worse. And I'm just like, dang, come on. Like, why I gotta be that way? What is happening? Why is it that everything has to be the worst on Black bodies? And you know what? I think, conspiracy theorists, okay? I don't know. This is not a medical fact. So there is, I think, because we really weren't supposed to be in this environment. We supposed to be, this is not our climate, for real. It's not our climate. We're not native to America or to what became America, essentially. Like, we're not native to it. This is not our climate. But I mean, like, again, I don't know that's true. That's evolution. We've been several generations of being born here and yada, yada, yada. There's science around all that, adaptation and stuff like that. But that's my conspiracy theory.
That we're not supposed to be here anyway.
Yeah, dude, this is not our climate. So the reason why all the American stats that say Black people are 2 times likely to blah, blah, 4 times likely to X, Y, and Z. If a Black person gets this, they're 3 times likely to die. If they get, like, I think all that is because, like, we are a fish out of water who's adapted to land at this point because we had to. So, but we are from a whole nother country. Our DNA is from a whole nother country. And yeah, so it's not our environment.
And what Harriet is saying in this book is that the stress of racism and the chronic stress of what we deal with on a daily basis keeps our stress levels high, and the telomeres are on the ends of the chromosome. They're down to like the chromosomal like level of DNA, and they shorten. And as telomeres shorten, they shorten as we age. And so her theory is if you keep having chronic stress, your telomeres will shorten and mean that we're aging faster on a cellular level. Meaning those cells aging like that makes you more prone to medical issues. Right? Is what she's saying in her book. And when you get to the cellular level, you think about that, And that's why when people like stress reduction, like your doctor means that, like, really wants you to reduce your stress because it's it's detrimental, right? Like,
Detrimental to your health. You gotta reduce your stress.
that's why I
Like
love what you're doing with this three B is our body,
body,
business, and
business, and
belonging,
belonging.
because that belonging aspect is equally as important as the business. As we got to be able to take care of ourselves. We need our physical body, but that belonging is also that mental part of it, so that we can,
Mm.
combat some of this racism. Because the whole Black maternal health outcomes, what we always end back up at is institutionalized racism. Trying to
Mm.
connect the two, and like, why is it that it doesn't matter that I'm a Black woman and I'm birthing a beautiful Black child in this place, my white counterpart has a better chance of surviving than me. Like, that is not why am I 4 times more likely to die? Like, that doesn't make any sense. It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. And so maternal
Wow.
health is important. We have to think about our girls and birthing people's, reproductive situation earlier. Nutrition is a big part of that. Mental health is a big part of that. But just coming together, I think, is what's going to help us like share this information and get there.
Wow. This is Black Maternal Health Week. So if you are not already clued in, get clued in.
Mm-hmm.
Read about it, go to some activations or and find out more information. Support a Black maternal health organization.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you check that out, check them out, check different organizations out online, donate, support them. Anything you want to lead the people with before we head out of here?
Because it's Black Maternal Health Week, call your mama. Say, hey,
Call your
is she okay? Don't
mama.
wait till Mother's Day. Call your Her birthday was when you was born. That was her actual birthday. Call your mama. Also, just remember, past when there's a baby, when you have, even if you have adult children, to your point, like, there's still some maternal mental health around that, around
Mm,
taking care of yourself, and just take care of yourself. Put yourself first. It is not a curse word to be selfish, because really, if you don't take care of you, then you can't take care of anybody else. Your love grows as you love yourself. Like, you can't be on
mm.
empty and love others. And so if we're going to help this crisis like stop, we have to start with ourselves. And we are the most talented group of folks on earth. Like, we have all the skills, all the knowledge. We just have to be able to come together and unite around making sure that we survive. So that
So
would be my thing. Take care of you, call your mama,
call your mama.
and it's okay to be selfish.
I love that. Dr. Latasha Selby Perkins in DC, family medicine physician and maternal health champion. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. Thank y'all all out there for that who's been watching. I appreciate y'all. If you want to watch the replay and you want to see the whole thing, go to at the Omi Show on YouTube and check the live section. Also omibell.com. Do that. Follow me at omibell on Instagram, all those things. And I'll be back with another interview, I think tomorrow actually. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. My
All
pleasure.
right. All right. Have a good rest of your day. All right, y'all. Everybody out there, y'all knows I keep squinting because I ain't got my glasses on. Thank y'all so much. Like I said, go to omibell.com at the Omi Show. Regulate your nervous system. Try the breathing bell. So go thebreathingbell.com and try it out. You can do 5-minute sessions, 10-minute sessions. But it's worth it to try and regulate today, trying to get calm. All right. And make sure call your mama. It's Black Maternal Health Week. Thank y'all for listening. Have a great rest of your day.